Can you guys see that screen? Awesome. Yep. Thanks, G. You can get going over here.
Okay. Hi, everybody, and welcome. My name is G. Fletcher, and this is Team Heart Australia. This is week 23. Oh, my gosh, this is scary. So for the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about this 15 Laws of Growth by John Maxwell. So tonight, Charlotte's going to be doing an amazing training session on the law of awareness. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that's me with longer hair, but that's okay. It's growing. And I just want to welcome everybody who's new to the team. It's very exciting to have you. I see, Anne-Marie, you're a new person, so a big welcome to you. And I'm not sure, is there anybody else that's new? But yeah, big welcomes to everybody who's new on tonight. And we're just so happy seeing so many new and welcoming posts each day, it looks like, on Team Heart Australia, which is very, very exciting. Okay, so how are we going with this 60-30? We have only got 4 days left, guys. So tomorrow morning, we've got Kerry Williams. Now, I was just mentioning to a couple of you, Kerry Williams is the person who signed up Maria Williams. She's the girl who got Maria to invite her around to the swimming pool, having the swimming pool with the kids, and she signed up Maria. So she's supposedly going to be, she's supposed to be incredible. And it'll be interesting to see what she talks about. I know we can't say anything about mitigates, about treats, cures, or prevents, but her son has autism. And I reckon there could be, she may end up talking about some of that in her story. Wednesday, we've got the lovely Karen Murphy, who's a Pro 3. Karen's great. She's in Team Positive, a real social media expert. She's at midday. And then Thursday evening, we've got our Karen Andrews. She'll be doing the opportunity meeting. And then the very last one is 8 o'clock on Friday, Blue Elam. So Blue is incredible. He was a paramedic, and he's got an incredible story. And he's also got a story, like a lot of things have happened to his family these last few months, and how residual income has just helped them so much that they haven't had to worry about money. So the really great thing, and I have to say well done to Charlotte for putting all this together. She just and for everyone that stepped up to the role of taking this over, I just want to say thank you so much. There's 3 leaders in each area that have put their hand up and volunteered that they would get this on the road and get it happening on a monthly basis. And I have to say, we've already got dates and venues for Brisbane, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, everywhere, Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth, which is incredible. And bi-monthly in Newcastle, Port Douglas, Cairns, and Yeppoon. Now, they're the only start of them. We want them everywhere. We have a leader, or everywhere we have somebody that says, I'll do one, we're going to have one. So this is just the start, which is really, really exciting. And most of these places are nearly free, which is it. You just have to buy some meals and things like that, or have a drink. So you just come earlier and do a bit of networking and supporting. So if you have an area that you'd like us to cover, let us know. The other thing is, because it's the end of the financial year on the 30th of June, we can only really go up until about midday of the 1st of July. And then we're not going to be able to backdate anything. So that's mountain time here, this midnight, which is about midday in Australia. So please just be aware that, you need to try and get them all in. You also know that we're not allowed to sell. Now, I know you can see that there is some on eBay. Amazon is completely gone, but eBay, I had a look, and it was mainly Americans trying to sell it here with huge shipping, so it's nothing to worry about. And also, we've got these promos. Now, I know a lot in my team that are running for this at the moment, which is very exciting. I know there's going to be a few Pro 3s. I'm hoping for another Pro 5 that will win this 1,000 US. And I reckon there's going to be a couple of Pro 4s. So I'm super excited by the amount of rank advancements that I know of in the team this month, but I know there is going to be lots more in the rest of you that I don't know what's going on. So it's going to be an incredible month. I think this is the biggest month that Australia has had. So it's going to be very exciting. So if you're somewhere around this Pro 3, I really encourage you as well. And this is one thing I've worked out. If you're going for the Bahamas, they will take, if you were a Pro 1, and you will still have earned the points for anyone that you've signed up on a platinum, and you rank advancing to Pro 1, Pro 2, and things like that. But there was one way of earning points, which was anything outside your biggest leg and growth. So they, up to Pro 3, they didn't have a bigger leg as such. So once you hit Pro 3, whichever one is your biggest leg, anything outside of that, they're actually, and you start growing it, that's going to be your baseline. So I would encourage you, if any of you are going for this Pro 3, maybe have a quick meeting with me or Charlotte or your upline, because you don't want that leg to be so big that that's your baseline either. So maybe we can strategize with you so that you get the best outcome moving forward for the Bahamas. Okay, if you want to move on there, Char. Okay, so the Bahamas question night, Charlotte's doing one on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. So it's this normal Zoom link. Invite any of your friends who didn't attend Darren's events. So yeah, that's just an extra opportunity meeting that we're going to be running, well, Charlotte's going to be running on Wednesday night this week. Yes, this is something really passionate. I love Kim. I have to say, what you did today for Carolyn was great. You didn't put up a rank, Pro 3 rank or anything like that. You just went on Caroline's wall and you did the congratulations picture and just went, I just want to honor Carolyn. She has done incredibly well and has earned $625 extra for being promoted in her business. And I saw a couple of people saying, what promotion? What have you got? What's the 625? So if you have got any people, guys, what we're really going to encourage this month, because it's great putting all these rank advancements in Team Heart Australia, but if that's the only place that it's going to go, can everybody mute there? I think Kaz and Drew, if you can mute. Yeah, thanks, guys. If that's the only place that you put it in, then none of your warm market or nobody on your Facebook is actually going to see that you have had a promotion and that you've earned this extra money. So my first port of call for anyone in my downline is I'm going to go on their Facebook page and then I'm going to share it in Team Heart Australia. Now, I don't want you to go on Team Heart Australia and say congratulations. If we could just this week pay really close attention to everybody's and go on the person's page and say congratulations, because when there is, 10 and 12 comments, the algorithm, it goes further and further in Facebook, and that's what we want. We don't want it really in Team Heart Australia. So if you see someone say, hey, can you give some love on this person's rank advancement, please just take the time, 2 minutes. Please don't like it. Please just comment, because we will all do the same for you, and we'll all do the same because we want everyone out there to know that there is something going on with this company, and they've seen us with pictures last week and seen us with team photos and Darren Jensen. So people are watching. And that's the thing that you need to understand. People are watching you all the time. So yeah, if we could do that for everybody, that would be awesome. And then we might have more new placements coming of July. Okay, so a couple of refreshers. Product information. This is really good. It's just a bit of a refresher about some of the universities that have actually taken on the studies. And this is something I think we've heard the Americans really talk about this in so much detail. And I have felt quite convicted that I don't really talk about this that much when I'm talking to somebody, but I've decided I am going to start talking about it, because there is there's a massive deal here with the American Heart Association and everything like that. So take your time and look at all these different studies that we've got. And they're all in pubmed.gov, and they've researched these all independently. So ProTandem, LifeVantage hasn't had to deal with this. These universities have taken on these studies and found that it's actually worked. So that's a really great thing, and it just adds more credibility when you actually say, well, the American Heart Association, the Anti-Aging Association, they've all done independent studies on ProTandem. And the great thing, one thing that Michelle Poe said, which I was blown away with, she said, if somebody says, oh yeah, because I've heard a few people say, oh yeah, well, we've got resveratrol is in PubMed. And it's like, okay, that's not an actual product. That's an ingredient. So is your product in PubMed? And she said 99.9% of the time, you will not find their product. So if someone says, oh yeah, we're in PubMed, say, okay, let's see your product in there. Oh no, it's just an ingredient. So we've got products, 23 peer-reviewed studies on ProTandem. That's massive. And the Washington State University, what they said when they studied ProTandem, or NRF2, when they studied the NRF2, we may be on the verge of a new literature on health effects, which may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. That's huge. It's just, sometimes you're nearly embarrassed to say ProTandem can help with that and this and that. Everyone thinks it's some little silly miracle pill, but when you get to know about oxidative stress and what it can do, and NRF2, it's incredible. Okay. And then this was, did you know that the Heart Association of America studied ProTandem and found that ProTandem stopped the clogging up of certain arteries? Go look up the study in pubmed.gov. Now that's massive as well, to be able to say to somebody it was in the journal, and it's also in the journal of the MS. The MS journal as well has got clocking. The MS journal also did a study on ProTandem, and that's in their journal as well. So yeah, just go and do a bit of research there as well. Okay. And this is the Oregon State University, what they've said about NRF2. So it's so when it comes, just let me get rid of this here. So when it comes to finding a problem, NRF2 essentially goes back to the cellular nucleus and rings the alarm bell, where it can turn on up to 200 genes that are responsible for cell repair, detoxification of carcinogens, protein and lipid metabolism, antioxidant protection, and other actions. In the report, the scientists called it a longevity assurance factor. Wow. I know that Helga always says that her husband calls it his insurance pill. It's just his insurance. It's just his life insurance pill that he takes. That's amazing. Okay, so now we're going to pass over to Charlotte, and she's going to do the 15 Laws of Growth by Dr. John Maxwell.
Thank you, G. That's awesome. Guys, I forgot to add a few notices on there, so I just want to mention them quickly. The one is, can you believe this? Tara Wilson has been confirmed to be our next international speaker. She's coming out for the September tour, so that's 4, hold on. First, second, and the fourth now, guys. So note this, there's been a change in the schedule. The first is going to be in Brisbane, it's a Friday. The second is a Saturday, it's going to be in Sydney. And the fourth, the Monday, is going to be in Melbourne. Okay, so we have given Sydney what they've asked for. They've asked for a Saturday so that our Newcastle people can travel. So first is Brisbane, second is Sydney, and the Monday the 4th is Melbourne. And we will continue to change that over, and we'll make sure each city gets the Saturdays. For now, guys, we're doing the best we can with that. So our very own Tara Wilson, Woo! And then, of course, we're also going to have Dr. Peter Vandergim, I think is his name. He is Vertigan, something like that. He is the general manager for Europe, and he's a very, very skilled guy when it comes to the products. So he's going to come out and teach us a lot as well. And he's, of course, really good at growing markets and teaching us what to do. So we're looking forward to that. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be similar meetings to what we've just had. So if it's in the week, it's going to be that 5 to 7 training, and the op meeting is going to be 7:30 to 8:30. And Brisbane, I'm expecting a very similar schedule, but I would like to see the op meeting first this time. So we'll see how that ends up. But just to let you know, that's a change. And then, guys, for next month, there's a lot of stuff coming. You're going to be notified in the next week. It's going to be a super important and super exciting month. We are on the verge of closing a deal to have a tru-science special for the month of July. There's going to be new incentives launched just for us for the month of July. There's going to be monthly opportunity meetings in all these cities, as Jee's just mentioned to you. Guys, I'm going to do bi-weekly compensation plan training, because I know we've got so many new distributors, and you need to know how people make money, because when you talk to a business builder, you need to be able to explain that. So I'm going to do some trainings there. I will let you know when they're going to be. Plus, we're going to have 2 webinars ongoing a week. So the Zooms we've had for the month of June, they're not going to just stop. We're going to make sure we have at least 2 booked in every single week for the month of July. And I'm going to start working on that pretty soon. So if you have any special speakers you'd like to hear, can you message me, and I'll see if we can get them on board. But lots of exciting stuff happening. I can tell you guys that Darren is really, really pleased with what he saw in Australia. He says that he feels like it's settled, like the foundations have been set. And he made an announcement in Sydney on Saturday, and he said that the 24th of the month, which it was on Saturday in Sydney, this has been the biggest month ever by the 24th of the month, and we've already exceeded 50% of our sales. So well done to every single one of you guys. Appreciate your work, appreciate your commitment. And I know that if you stayed working consistently, guys, with us, you will get success. There's no doubt. So if you're having a bad day and you feel like you need to talk to somebody, please just Zoom us, call us, text us, whatever. Let one of us speak with you, your sponsor. You know, it's normal to feel like that, but don't give up. Just keep going. So guys, I'm super excited to bring to you tonight the second law. But I just want to remind you that growth does not just happen. You've got to be intentional about growing. Okay, you've got to be intentional. It's like if you want to lose weight, you've got to be intentional about drinking a lot of water, exercising, and eating healthy. And it's the same thing with growing your body, your skills, your mindset, all of that. You've got to be intentional about it. The second law we're going to look at tonight is called the law of awareness. And this law says that you must know yourself to grow yourself. So let's stop there for a second, and maybe you can ask yourself, do you know yourself? Do you know where and what it is about you that you need to grow? Now, guys, we all have many, many areas to grow in, right? Many areas, and some affect our business and some don't. But you've got to prioritize and look at the ones that are the most important, that are affecting your life the most. For instance, if you struggle with anger, you want to stop and get help. You want to find books to read. You want to find ways and methods of how you can control your anger, because anger is destructive. Okay, so look at your strengths and your weaknesses, and have a look at, you know, what they are, and prioritize them, and then be intentional about growing them. So you've got to know yourself to grow. No one can produce great things who is not thoroughly sincere in dealing with himself. In other words, if you are not honest with yourself, then you're wasting your time. You've got to sit and have a chat to yourself, or with yourself, should I say. You've got to sit down and be super honest and know, we all know where we lack. If you have an ego that says, oh no, I'm just perfect, there starts your problem. There's a pride issue. Okay, so that's your weakness. You got to be humble, guys. Nobody is perfect. There's nobody of us that even does anything perfectly well. We can always grow in any field. So you've got to be coachable. So be aware, to grow, you must know yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, and your interests. You need to be aware of where you've been, how you've grown to where you are now, and where you are heading. So where have you been? Have you grown? Or are you still in the same place? But if you have grown, where is it that you want to head to? That's the only way to gain traction and to keep improving yourself. And to reach your full potential, you must know where you want to go and where you currently are. And be dead honest with yourself. I have so many weaknesses and I know what I need to grow in. And, for instance, one thing for me is to be selective in the stuff that I do, because I just want to do it all. But I can't. It's humanly impossible. So I've got to learn to understand what are the key things I've got to do every day in my business to continue to grow my business so that I can continue to serve you as a leader. It's no good I take my focus off that and all I do is I spend time working on teams, for instance, or on Australia's distributors or on planning events with Pam. I can't do that. I've got to stay focused on growing my own business and doing those key activities. But I struggle with that. I struggle to say no. I get cross-line people message me all the time asking, can you please help me? Can you please help me? And I struggle to say no. But at the end of the day, the truth is I've got to learn to say no. Because if I don't, I'm going to be destructive to my own business. And the same goes for you. What in your life do you need to learn to say no to? It's a hard word. Now, many of us find it extremely difficult to say no when somebody asks for help. It could be that school that rings and asks you to help, do an extra shift in the tuck shop with the kids. And that hour or 2 hours really you should be spending building your business. So what do? And I've actually just watched a really great little video recently that teaches you to just say no and be okay with it. It's okay to say no, right? So know where you've got to go and what you need to do to get there. There are 3 kinds of people when it comes to direction in life, and I want to ask you to consider which of the 3 are you. So number 1 is people who don't know what they would like to do. They're often so confused and they just don't have a strong sense of purpose. If they are growing, they are unfocused about it. They dabble and drift. Is that you? And it's okay if it is. Be dead honest with yourself tonight. Are you the kind of person that struggles to commit and focus? Do you feel confused? Do you feel like you're dabbling in stuff and that you drift from one thing to the next? If that is you, stop drifting, because it doesn't help. You will not get success in that. Do you know what you want? Do you know what it is that you want to achieve? Do you know what you want to do with your life? If you don't, then you'll see I'm going to give you some questions to ask yourself soon. But stop. Don't just continue the way you are. You need to stop, pull back, and really find focus. Or are you type number 2? And this is people who know what they would like to do, but they just don't do it. Guys, you may not have heard this on the weekend, but Darren said at one of the globals, I think it was last global, as he was walking out the stadium, he gets stopped all the time for photos and stuff, but this one guy stopped him and said, can I please ask you a question? And he said he wasn't in the frame of mind to be answering questions, but he said, yeah, okay. And the guy said, what's the most important thing to do in network marketing? And Darren's reply was, get off the couch. So this is this type of person, right? So they know what they want, they have clarity with that, but they just don't do it. These people are usually frustrated because they know where they want to be, but they're not taking the steps to get there. Every day they experience the gap between where they are and where they want to be, and that is frustrating. Especially when you do know you've got the ability to do that, but you just don't do it. Sometimes they're not willing to pay the price to learn or to grow or to move closer to where they want to be. Other times, fear prevents them. No matter what the reason, sadly, this type of person is going to miss their potential. They're going to be one of those that's going to go to their grave, and they're going to bury their dreams and passion and purpose with them. You know, it's been said, and you may have heard this, that the graveyard is the richest place in the world because there lies millions of dreams and ideas and patterns and, you know, suggestions that have never ever come out because those people never got off the couch to do it. Extremely sad. So type 3. People who know what they would like to do and they do it. This is really where you want to be. Now, guys, if you're number 1 or 2, that's okay. I believe most people on here tonight are 3 and anyway, otherwise you wouldn't be on here. But if you're 1 or 2, you can change. Anybody can change. So these people know themselves and they possess a strong sense of passion and purpose. They grow in an area that helps them move forward and closer to where they want to be and what they've been created to do. And the word that best describes them is they are fulfilled. You know, my hubby and I had a chat yesterday morning in Sydney before we came back home. And I realized something over this weekend, guys. I realized that if you said to me, Charlotte, you could never help somebody for the rest of your life. So if you put me in a job where I had no time, I worked with the boss, I barely earned enough money just to survive, and you cut off the possibility that I have now with this company where I can help so many people, not just within the company, but outside of the company. I can help orphans. I can help kids that are hungry. I can help rescue sex trafficked kids. I can feed my parents-in-law. I can feed my parents. If you took away from me the fact that I could help people, you may as well kill me now. That's me. You may as well kill me now. And I know there's so many people on here. In fact, I would say that all of you on here have a heart like that. And guys, if nothing else drives you, let that be the thing that drives you. That this opportunity gives us the ability to do those things. To do whatever it is that we want to put our hands to make a difference. How incredibly exciting. So what's really important is that you have to know where you are now to grow your potential. But you have to grow in order to know who you are. Does that make sense? You know, oftentimes people will be so unrealistic about where they are. They will be fake about it. They will lie to themselves instead of just being totally real and say, look, I know I've stuffed up here. I know I do this all the time. I need to get better. Then only you will get better and you will grow. So how do you get to know yourself? Well, guys, there's 10 questions. Oh, I don't know where number 10's gone, but we'll find it now. So how do you get to know yourself? Well, you pay attention to your passions. So what I just said to you before, that is something I discovered about myself this weekend. That if you say to me, Charlotte, you can no longer pay for your little niece to go to school, I'd be going, are you kidding me? How can I not do that? How can I leave that kid and she's got nobody paying for her school? That would be like you could turn off my heart. I couldn't do that. And so what are your passions? What are those things that if I say to you tomorrow that's going to be taken away from you? What is it that will feel to you like your heart has been turned off? So how to find your passions and your purpose? And there's a few things we look at. Question number 1 is, do you like what you're doing now? Simple question. You know, the unexamined life, listen to this quote. Man, this is so powerful. The unexamined life is not worth living. So the unlived life is worth examining. Do you feel like you're living a life that's worth it? Do you feel like you're making a difference? Do you feel like you're getting to where you want to be? If you're not, then you need to examine your life. You need to find the passions that you do have and find how you can ignite those passions. Question number 2 is, what would you like to do? So this is where you find those passions. Think about it. What are you excited about? What gets you staying awake at night? There is definitely a direct connection between finding your passion and reaching your potential. Guys, when you find your passion, what you do is natural. You don't have to force it. It comes natural, and when it comes natural, you become attractive. And people come to you, they flock to you. How do you know what you want to do? How do you tap into your passion? You listen to your heart. Pay attention to what you love doing. So when I just said to you now, if you told me I couldn't help anybody for the rest of my life, it would be like putting my heart off, switching it off. Well, that's me paying attention to my heart. What is it for you? Question number 3 is, can you do what you would like to do? So do you have the skill? Do you have the ability? You know, I could be sitting here thinking, I've always wanted to be a radiographer, right? But I could sit and wallow in that for the next 50 years, or I could just go and study it and become it. So could you do what you would like to do? You must have some kind of criteria for knowing if the desire you have matches the abilities you possess. So again, be open and honest with yourself. Do you have the abilities to do what you'd like to do? So 3 questions, guys, that you can ask yourself to identify if what you want to do is possible. Question number 1 is, do you know the difference between what you want and what you're good at? Question number 2 is, do you know what drives you and what gives you satisfaction? And question number 3 is, do you know what your values and priorities are and what your organization's values and priorities are? So it all comes back to passion, guys. Almost every man in life, man and woman, wastes part of their life in attempts to display qualities which they do not possess. They try and be who they're not. So many people do that. So many people compare themselves to others. Guys, I'll tell you honestly, I spent most of my life doing that. Most of my life, I wasn't happy with who I was. I was constantly comparing myself to other people, thinking I wasn't good enough, thinking I needed to do more, I needed to be better, I needed to be thinner, I needed to be prettier, I needed to have longer hair, I needed to be more fit, I needed to help more people, I needed to have more money in the bank. Like the list just went on and on and on. But the day when you discover yourself and you can just be happy with who you are and know that when you contributing to this world, it is super, super empowering. The next question is, do you know why you want to do what you would like to do? Is it a genuine passion, or is it something you want to do because you want to please somebody else, or you want to show somebody else you can do it? Your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. The people who look outside, they just dream. When you look inside, you awaken something. So spend time the next week to meditate, even if it's 5 minutes a day, guys, and consider, what are your passions? What stirs your heart? What sets you on fire? You must know yourself to grow yourself. It's super important. Number 5 is, do you know what to do so you can do what you want to do? So to move from where you are right now to what you want to do is a process. Do you know what it'll take? No, there's a few things that you need to look at. The first is awareness. Picture where you are right now in any area. Now picture where you want to be. Maybe it's richer or thinner or happier. You name whatever it is. And the first step towards that is awareness. So are you aware of what you want to change in your life? If you want to get from where you are right now, you want to where you want to be, you have to start by becoming aware of the choices that led you to where you are now. The second step is action. So now that you know what the issue is, the thing is, or those things that make you unhappy or unsettled, now start taking action. You cannot win if you don't begin. The people who get ahead in the world are the ones who look at the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, they make them. Isn't that cool? The next thing is accountability. So guys, you want to make sure that you stay accountable to somebody. So if, whatever it is that you want to change, speak to somebody close to you. Share it with a good friend or with your spouse or partner. So guys, the next question is this. Do you know people who do what you'd like to do? So if you have discovered what you want to do, start finding people who do what you want to do with excellence. Then do what you must to learn from them. Get committed, be consistent, be creative, be purposeful, be reflective, and be grateful. Find people, we always say this to you, even in network marketing, find people who are similar to you and who are doing what you want to achieve, and just follow them. So number 7 is, should you do what you'd like to do with them? So should you partner with them? Should you ask them to be your mentor? Why not? Being mentored by someone who is successful in your area of interest has enormous value, but you've got to be teachable. So you've got to possess a teachable spirit. You've always got to be prepared for the time you get with your mentor. Don't be late. Set your agenda by asking great questions. So when you do go onto a training, whether it's, could even be one of us within Team Heart, make sure you've got questions. You know what you're going to discuss. Don't waste the time talking about the weather and other stuff. Use your time wisely. Demonstrate how you've learned from your time together and be accountable for what you've learned. My time with Darren, captured in a little minivan this weekend, was amazing because I could ask him so many questions, and I did. I had my little book and I would just ask question after question, and he was so gracious. He would answer everything really beautifully. Well, number 8 is, will you pay the price to do what you want to do? So, if you're part of the 98% of the people in the world, you're going to continue to moan, groan, bitch, and, never be happy, complain about where you want to be. But if you're part of the 2%, which I believe most of us are because we're on here tonight, you are going to find a way to do what you want to do, and you're going to pay the price. So, you can get to the top only the hard way. There's no easy way. There's no room for laziness or ignorance. Like, you got to work, right? Like in our business especially, you've heard Darren say it's called network marketing for a reason. So taking the steps necessary to live your dreams and do what you want to do will cost you. You will have to work, guys. You will have to make sacrifices. You will have to keep learning and growing and changing. Are you willing to pay that price? I certainly hope you are, guys, because it is so worth it. But unfortunately, most people aren't. So ask yourself, are you willing to pay the price? Now this, guys, this is not just applicable to network marketing. This is about anything in your life. This could be that relationship with your spouse. Maybe the past 12 months has been an awkward time. Maybe there's been a lot of fights. Maybe you two just don't see eye to eye for whatever reason. Are you willing to pay the price to fix that, to reinvest time in that relationship, to maybe go see a counselor? So it applies to anything in your life. Are you willing to spend the time and pay the price to fix it? When can you start doing what you'd like to do? Number 9. Ask people when they will do what they want to do, and most answer that they hope to do it someday. How frustrating when you show somebody the opportunity and they say, oh, I'll think about it maybe next month or maybe next year or whatever. Why not now? Why put it off? Because a lot of people will say, I'm not ready. So perhaps they're not ready, but if they wait until they are, they will probably never ever do it. Most of the accomplishments that people achieve in life begins when they start attempting it before they're ready for it. You know, it's like when you're a brand new distributor, oftentimes distributors will say, oh, I've got to learn this and I've got to learn that. And no, you just know a little bit and just start talking about it, because if you wait until you know it all, you're never going to start. And the longer you wait, the more the desire diminishes and you'll end up losing it. Nobody ever got ready by waiting. You simply get ready by starting. You know, it's like an athlete saying, I'm going to start next week. Like, I'm just going to wait a little bit until, you know, I feel like my muscles are already carbo loaded, or I've got lots of protein shakes in me, and then I'm going to start. Well, that athlete is never going to get fit. He's never going to get, you know, good and strong and be able to compete until he starts. And it's the same in anything in your life. And the last question is this, is what will it be like when you get to do what you'd like to do? Imagine that day. That's the day for me, close actually to my perfect day. My perfect day, guys, is when I've retired my husband. When my husband has a little office next to me and I can pop him an email and say, honey, you know, let's go out for lunch because we can. That's my perfect day. So I'm getting close. What does your perfect day look like? Do you know, I'm going to end off with this, guys, and this, let this make you think, right? They say there are two great days in a person's life. The day that you were born and the day that you discover why. And, you know, seek what you were born to do and then pursue it with all of your heart. I think I finally this weekend discovered my genuine why. And I was made to help. If I can't help, you may as well come and take me away now. Because I think I'll end up in a mental home. So what is your why? Discover the reason why you were born. And guys, you will live a life of purpose. Be aware of the things in your life that you need to change. Don't judge yourself about them. Just be aware of what they are and start taking slow steps to get better at them. So guys, that's the law of awareness. I hope you've learned something. I certainly love doing this stuff because for me, I just learn all the time. So I'm going to just stop our training, our recording, guys, and then I'm going to open it up to you guys.